Science in the University of California. So earlier it was called named as Postgres. Then they renamed it as then Postgres SQL. Okay, because nowadays if you see most of the products that you see around the database, they are all structured query language. They support structured query language, and hence they renamed this to PostgreSQL. Okay, earlier it was Postgres. Later on they named, and it was invented in University of California. Okay, the Department of Computer Science. And what are the common use cases for this Postgres is? One is it is primarily used as a backend database that powers many dynamic websites and the web applications that you see across in the internet, right? There are a lot of websites. Okay, maybe some companies they are using Postgres because it's a open source, so it can support websites, web application, and it can be used for general purpose transaction database. So large companies, large corporates and startup use Postgres as the primary database to support their application and products. Even on the banking side, now slowly people are moving, companies are moving towards Postgres, MongoDB, and MySQL, NoSQL. These are all open source. Okay, you don't have to pay any subscription for usage. You can use in enterprise, you can use it in business. Okay, you don't have to really pay anything. And where else we use PostgreSQL? Okay, geospatial database. Okay, now what is this? You have seen your Google Maps or Apple Maps, right? So whatever the data that we are seeing on our screen on our mobile, okay, it is fetched from backend database. So, some companies they are using. There is an extension for Postgres SQL called PostGIS extension. Okay, so you can install that. Okay, so post just extension, so it can be used for spatial data management and analysis. I'll just open this page. Okay, first you have to install this extension. Okay, so I'll show you one. Okay, not right now. Maybe when there is a need for to learn this advanced level and all. Okay, I'll install one or some basics extension, and I'll show you how to install and how to enable that and how to make use of it. Okay, so you will get, if you go to the documentation, you'll get step by step. Okay, so you can make use of that also, and we can learn ourselves also, but I'll show you one or two examples, then we can get going. Okay, and language support. Okay, and Postgres supports language support, multiple programming language like Python, Java, C Sharp, C++, Ruby, Perl, Go, TCL. Okay, so what that means is whenever you are fetching some data from your uh, backend, right? So if you use any of this language in the front end, like Python or a web language, right? HTML, and on top of it, you can write your Python, Java, or Node.js. Okay, using this programming language, you can connect your database and you can fetch your data for validation or whatever the purpose you want to do. And the Postgres feature. Okay, so what else we covered yesterday? Okay, we covered about RDBMS. Okay, I showed you the sample table, what is row and columns, and we learned about RDBMS, what is the full form, relational database management system, which indicates that your data should be in the format of rows and columns. Okay, so there is a relation between one or two tables. Yesterday I showed you the examples. So this employee table, employee salary. Okay, you see here employee ID, and on the other table you see only three columns are there: employee ID, department number, and salary. But you have there is a relation between this table and this table with employee ID. You can see using, you can join these two tables and fetch the salary for John. Okay, and you can use the where clause. Okay, so we'll see aggregate functions and all in depth one by one. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to learn about the installation. Okay, so yesterday I showed you in a hurry about the installation. So we'll install uh, uh, on a test device. Okay, let me open. Okay, I have already installed yesterday, but if you guys want to see it again, I can install it again. It's up to you guys. You let me know. Anybody tried installing this on their laptop so far? Anybody? No? Okay, yours is already installed. Okay. Okay. So right now, if you guys want to install, you can install along with me. So I'll install on another application, another laptop. Not on this. Okay, it's already loaded, so it's a remote desktop. I'll install on this application. Sorry, install on this laptop. Okay, so yesterday I've already shared the link with you guys on WhatsApp, uh, from where you can download. Okay, so this is the link. I just shared it again. So if you want to install along with me, just follow the instruction. Okay, so this is the page you will get when you hit on that link. So here the latest version is 18.1 and you have to look for your operating system. If you are on Windows, head to Windows 64 because 32 is not supported, 32 version, 32-bit version is not supported. So latest is 64-bit. Okay, you click on this link, it will take you to the next page. You just close all this. Okay. Uh, Installation instruction. Okay. So when it is installing, yeah, it is downloading. You can see. Okay, so you can follow the same link. Okay, download it on your laptop and it will be easy for you to follow along with my instructions, and then we will also at the end of the day we will also install, sorry, not install, import the sample data. Okay, I'll show you that also how to do that. Okay, I think it is installed. Okay, so I'll go to my yeah, download folder. So I have the file here. Okay, so I'll just minimize this. Uh, and just change the. Okay, fine, that's fine. Uh, where is the file? Download folders, right? So I have, I mean, you can see this file. After you download this file, you can check the extension, so the size of the file. It should be close to 354 MB. Okay, I'll just double click on it, and it says remove protection and open. Okay, I'll just click on it. So this is a Windows feature, security feature. So whenever you download any application from the internet, right? So before running, it will securely unzip that file or folder and see if there are any malicious code inside. We'll just verify. If nothing is there, it will give you the installation for file. Okay, yeah, something like this. Okay, so right now it is installing VC++, some of the components of Postgres, a requirement that it is installing. Maybe it was not there on my laptop. Let me just cross check. Okay, so these are all the dependencies that are required for Postgres to run on Windows, VC++, and other dependency, .NET dependency application. So currently it is installing. Okay, you can start installing and download on your laptop, and just make sure you have in your C drive at least more than a GB space, because it needs minimum 154 MB. If I'm not wrong, yesterday the minimum requirement to install the Postgres is 154 MB disk space. Okay, so it's an MB. I'm talking about GB. At least you have more than a GB, then I think you are good to go. You can install it. So right now it is downloading from internet, I guess. Okay, these are all bootstrap applications. So they don't download the exe and run it. So it downloads directly from the internet. Okay, while it is installing, just go back to my other desktop. Just close this. Okay, so when it installs, right, it installs pgadmin 4 also. Okay, in earlier version what used to happen is you have to install this component separately, but what they have done is they have integrated this piece along with the installation files. Okay, and let me run this SQL. So this is the command line. Okay, so this is the command line that you can also use to connect your database. Okay, so there are different command lines that are available from the CLI. So this is the command line interface. Okay. PGSQL, Postgres databases. What is the database I created yesterday? It's a Postgres only. Okay, port is 5432. Username is Postgres. Could not. Okay, got it. Instead of Postgres, I have to type localhost once. Okay, now it is connected. Okay, okay, so right now I'm connected to Postgres. Okay, but see, this CLI is where you cannot use the mouse. You have to remember all those commands. Okay, so if you are comfortable with going with the approach of CLI mode, which is command line interface, you can go for it. Okay, but I'll share this commands also later on. Okay, so let's get back and see what is happening on my laptop. So it's still installing. Not sure why it is taking time. Okay. Meanwhile, we'll get back to our PPT. Okay. So after the installation is done, okay, if we get time today, so we'll just go through the roadmap of learning SQL. Okay, so SQL stands for Structured Query Language, and these are the commands. SQL commands are divided into 5 categories. Okay, DDL, DML, TCL, DCL, and DQL. Okay, DDL stands for data language. Okay, this is DML stands for manipulation of data. TCL is transact, and D stands for DCL stands for again control. Okay, and the Q stands for queries. Okay, you can write your queries with a select statement. Okay, so you have data definition language. Second one is data. D stands for data. Okay, data manipulation language. T is transaction control language, and DCL is data control language. Okay, what do you mean by data control? So this is for predominantly for the admins. Okay, say for example, I have a database, crucial information is there in the table, and you are the admin for that database and you want to give access. Okay, read only access, or you create some views. Okay, and you give only selective columns from that table. Okay, for for some project XYZ or whatever the project he or she is working. Okay, you want to give, you can give a read access. So this is predominantly like a admin work. Okay, so this is predominantly like a admin work, and DQL stands for data query language, where you will be using select statement intensively. Okay, select statement. So we'll see all this thing. DDL is data definition language, where you will learn how to create a table, how to drop a table, how to alter, truncate, and rename a table. Say you have created a table called employee. Later on, later on you realize that I have created a wrong name. I have to rename that table. Okay, you can use a rename statement in SQL in a query language, and then you can rename the table. Okay. Similarly, in manipulation, insert. Insert it means insert a data into a table, update existing rows. Okay. If you have a table called, say for example, you have some rows like this. Okay, 2 rows are there. Okay, and I want to update, instead of Tom, I have to add here Kathy. Okay, so in the same row, second row, I'm just editing or updating the row for first name or last name or email. Okay, so that is called editing. Okay, update, sorry. Okay, delete, it's just straightforward. You want to delete a record, you can delete a record. Okay, if you want to drop a table, okay, in the first statement we have seen a drop, right? What does that mean is, if you drop a table, that is removed from the memory, so you cannot retrieve it back. Once you delete it, you cannot retrieve. Always take a backup. We'll see all the admin related activities also. I'll show you, okay, as and when, so that you can learn the complete administration as well. Okay, merge is like you have 2 tables, you want to merge into one table, you can use the merge. Okay, commit is committing some changes in your table. Okay, rollback is, say for example, some transaction fails in between. Like for example, take an example of you are transferring some XYZ amount to your friend, right? What happens is, suddenly there was some issue with the application. Okay, so it will roll back, so it will not commit that entry in the database. Okay, until unless it gets a authentication from the other side that they have received, then only it will deduct that amount from your bank, and it will update saying that 100 rupees was deducted. Okay, for in between there was some issue with the transaction on the other end. Okay, on the other end means the person to whom you are sending. For example, he has some issue with the app, or he has removed that number for some reason. Okay, so it will get rollback. These are all the features of our database, where commit, rollback, save point, set transaction, and all we learn with our some examples. Okay, so this is like administration part, DCL, the control language, data control language. Okay, and data query language is a simple select statement that we will be using. Okay, so let me go back to my installation and see where are we. Okay, welcome. So let me just install. This is the default location that it will go. It will install program files Postgres 18. So currently the version that we are using is 18.1. Okay, and just leave as it is. You don't have to uncheck anything. Okay, you will need all this is command line is something when you don't want to give access to anybody. Okay, so using a command line also you can, the other person can access based on his credential, and then he can connect to the database and run the query to retrieve the data. For now I'll just select all those things, and this is a default location where data will be stored. Data folder is where your actual db file will be created. Okay, so password. Okay, next screen it will ask for, it will pop up for password. You can give any password that you want to do, but just make sure you remember. Okay, if you don't remember, it's difficult to retrieve it. Okay, there is a some simple steps are available where you can go to the config file. If you have access to this device or server in your organization, right, you need to have access to the server backend. You can map that C drive, go to that location, and then you have to delete edit a conf file, and then you can what do you call, you can set a new password. Okay, and these are default ports it uses 2345. Okay, even if you don't like, you can change it. Okay, but we'll leave it with the default one for our learning. Okay, and we'll just leave it as local as default. Okay, and then we'll start the installation. Okay, so while this is installing, I'll just go to my remote desktop and I want to show the data folder. Okay, so I'll head to C, program files, then MNOP, Postgres 18 data. Okay, so this is the main folder. Okay, where all your database files will be created, and you can see configuration files. Okay, I'll show you uh, uh, some simple way to reset the password if you have forgot. Okay, I'll show you in the administration part at the end, last chapter. We'll see all these things one by one. Okay, so whatever the table that you create, right, so it will create, these are the files, these are all database files. Okay, notify, rep slot, then serial, snapshot. Okay, snapshot is, it will take a backup of one copy of your data, just in case that gets corrupt, it can restore it from the snapshots. Okay, right now we don't have anything, it's a empty dummy. Okay, dummy database, so we have not created anything, and these are some of the files that you will see. Okay, if you want to take a look how your database files looks like, so you can get into this file, but don't delete any files. Okay, just uh, get into these files and you can see how the database files are all linked to each other. Okay, we have logs here, you can see the logs. Okay, so if you want to see something, your Postgres is not launching, okay, and it is not connecting, you can go to the log, and this is where you can go find out. Okay, on you can also go the other route, which is your event viewer, but you will not get a clear picture what has happened with your application, but here you will get a crisp knowledge here. Okay, so this is something, 1 minute, not this one. I'll just open this one, 9.5. Yeah, this one, latest one. Okay, so database, see, database system was shut down at blah 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 time. Canceling statement due to user request, shutting down, checking, starting. Okay, you can see all these logs. If something is not working, you can go to log and go to the Google and search. Okay, why we are getting it, and then it will give you the step by step steps to retrieve. Okay, sorry, not retrieve, sorry, fix the issue. My bad. Okay, so it is installing. So once it is installed, okay, we'll see how to launch and how to connect. So this is, I'm installing in the same laptop that I'm using. Yesterday I installed on a different desktop. That is because I have less space here yesterday, so I have cleared up some files, unwanted files, and moved to a different storage. So I have almost very good space in this box now. Otherwise, what happens is it will store on your PC. Okay. Meanwhile, we'll get back to our PPT while this is installing. So we'll just spend some time. Okay. And these are the basic simple SQL command syntax. Okay. So you don't have to memorize all these things. Okay. Once you practice on a sample data and then you start creating your table, okay, and you will create a relational table, 2 3 tables, right? So we'll have some practice session also. Okay, and Friday I'll give you some tasks. You guys have to do it. And Monday, first thing, first 15 or 20 minutes, I want you guys to share your screen and explain me um about the homework, whatever I'll give you. Okay, so this is a command. Okay, so what is the command to create a database? Create database name. I'll do this after the installation is done. I'll show you. Okay, and whenever you want to use a database, you can say use database name. Say for example, you have a database called employee. Okay, you'll say use space database. Okay, there's the syntax, and then you have to use semicolon. Okay, you can see. Okay, I think I have this syntax also added here. Yeah, section. Yeah, this one, section one. Okay, the select statement. Okay, so querying data. So first thing is querying data. How you're gonna use. Okay, so these are all very interesting topics. So, so these are the syntax. Okay, so I have added the syntax also, so that you can follow. What is this means? Select underscore list. These are your columns. Okay. Say for example, what is the difference between star and select columns? If you pick columns, so it will give a full data for those two columns or one column data. Okay, it will display in the result pane. But if you say star means all columns. Okay. And how do you differentiate between two columns? You can use a comma. Okay, when you are retrieving the data from your database. Okay, even I have added some note, and I'll share this PPT also. uh, Probably I'll do one thing. I'll share this uh, in a WhatsApp. Okay, after this class is done, or I'll give you a link with you. I'll share with all of you guys, and then I'll share the link to access as a read only. You can go through this presentation. Okay, so let me check if it is done the installation. It's still installing. Okay, so and another thing that we need is we need a sample database. Okay, now where can I get a sample database? Okay, if I type sample, okay, so if you go to the first one or this one, yeah, you can go to this also. Same thing, DVD rental will use it. Okay, DVD rental. I think you can go to this link as well, and this is the link. I'll share it. Okay, so this is the link, guys. Okay, we'll just copy this, copy link address, and I'll just paste it. Okay, those who are trying along with me, you can download and keep this file as ready. Okay, in download or whatever folder. It's a small file. Okay, so I'll click on this laptop, and I have already downloaded here. Okay, DVD rental. So I'll just unzip this, extract all. I'll pick the same location. Okay, so this is the location, DVD rental. Okay, so this is the zip version. This is unzip version. Okay, just keep this file as ready, and this is just 2.7 MB file. Okay, so First, we'll practice with the sample data. Okay, sample database. Okay, and then we will start creating a schemas. Okay, we'll learn about the schemas and then how to create your schemas and how to create a table, how to link, and all those things. We'll start learning. Okay, so just keep this is ready. Once the installation is done, let me check what is the status. I think it is almost done. And Saib, what is the version of Postgres you have? The old version or 18? Version 18. You can upgrade it. I think you can go to the menu and you have an option there to update. Just see if we can update while we are doing this. Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to my remote desktop. If you learn any one database technology, right, the other that are available in the market like Microsoft SQL, Oracle, okay, IBM DB system, then MongoDB, MySQL, NoSQL, these are very easy to learn. Okay, it will be like a hot cake for you to learn with these simple steps because you're going to use the fundamentally you are using the same scripting language everywhere if you know how to write a scripting language. Okay, so under help you should have website. Okay, I'm not seeing anything to download. Okay, so okay, see, yeah, this is the newest version. I'll explain all these things, menus that we are seeing here, right? These three menus and the schema difference workspace. I'll show you all these things. Okay, when you're gonna use this. So, for example, in my current situation, I have installed Postgres on the local box. Okay, what if you have a remote location in your network environment or enterprise network environment, right? So that is when you have to give the IP address server name. You can give any server name. So, for example, it is related to your program that you are working, right? Some employee experience, whatever. Okay, you are picking up some data from those field or ticket scrubbing or whatever. Okay, so you can write your name there and you can say existing server. So right now in my box it is already there. So right now it is populating everything here. Okay, what is the password? 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, simple. Role, what is the role I want to use? So I want to use read all data. Okay, I'll just pick something. Okay, and then connect and open URL. Okay, connection failed. Okay, multiple connection attempts fail. Okay, right now it is already connected, so that is the reason it is not able to connect. Okay, so existing already connected. When you launch this pg admin, it connects to a connect. But remote location, if you have another server or something, right, where you want to connect, you can definitely use this. Earlier we don't have all this components. Okay, added recently they have added with 18 version 18. Okay, PSQL workspace and this this option. One minute, I'm not able to click here. Okay, let me go back and check if it is done. Why it is taking so much of time? Let me just check what is the size of this file. 354 MB. Okay, but it cannot take this much of time. But anyway, so how much time did it take for you guys? Anybody's installed right now? or
Yeah, yeah.
installing.
See, it took shorter time, much shorter time than yours.
Yeah, maybe some issue, I don't know. I'll check the task
Because
manager.
currently I'm in the stack builder pop-up option where it is asking me to select which one to install the applications.
Yeah, you can select all those four options, Rajesh, and then you can click next and just follow the screen.
Okay, okay.
And maybe I should have rebooted this PC because this is running continuously. I don't know. Okay, I'll take a look later. Yeah, first time it takes time. Yeah, correct. Maybe from the internet. Earlier package was heavy. Actually, if you see the 16 version 16 or 17, the package, the EXE build size was close to uh, 600 or 700 MB, right? So everything was downloaded on my local laptop, so it was very fast when we are installing. It used to take less time than this because right now what they have done is the entire exe file they have slipstream with a size of 358 or 340, uh, 354 MB. Okay, you can see here right inside the one PG file that I downloaded. Okay, this is close to 354 MB. So right now while we are installing this package, it is installing all these files from the extracting, maybe it is downloading something from the net. You can see these are all PY files. PY stands for Python file. Okay, so it is installing. So we'll just wait for another 1 or 2 minutes, and then I'll launch this application, and we will import the DVD rental database. Okay, we'll create first a database and then we'll import and then we'll get some hands-on with our data. Okay, with a query language DQL. Okay, data query language, which denotes a select statement. Okay, where is this? Okay, DQL, select statement, data query language. DCL is control. Okay, control means it's an admin related work. Okay, so I have a say for example I have a table called uh, bank details. Okay, where I am collecting employees SSN number, their PAN detail, their bank account. These are very crucial, right? Very PI information are involved here. Personal identification information, right? So you cannot give access just like that. Okay? So someone asks, I just need the PAN. Okay, if he's from HR team or finance team. Okay, after the approvals, everything is done, then you will grant him. You will use the DCL command to grant and take his ID, the domain ID of your company, and then you will give him access. So once he logs in and once he types the query, so he can see only 2 or 3 columns. Okay, not all the columns that are there that we are capturing in a bank account table. Okay, so they don't give, nobody gives a full access. 1 or 2 administrators in your company, entire company will have access to the entire tables. That is just they will not open even if they run a SQL statement. Immediately there will be alert to security folks that he has run a statement. Okay, and then they'll ask 100 questions. Why did you run that application, that command to execute? Okay. So generally they don't use. So if there are any table that are very crucial or confidential, you should not run it. Okay. Uh, so we are almost done. Okay. Hopefully we'll close today's session by 9. So likewise, tomorrow we'll do some hands-on with select statement. Okay, and we'll also create column aliases. Okay, how to assign a temporary names to columns. Okay, I'll show you. You have to use a, a string. How to do that and order by. Okay, how to sort your results, ascending, descending. So I'll show you basics tomorrow. Okay, and this thing means will provide you with unique data. Say for example, you have 100 columns. Out of 100 columns, there are some 4 or 5 duplicates. Okay, with the same employee ID. So when you use that distinct, you'll get a purely a uh, uh, result which will remove all the duplicate rows. Okay. So be careful whenever you're using all these commands. Okay, it will not delete anything, but this will be very useful when you are doing some uh, to I mean some decision making based on your data. Okay, and after SQL is done, right? I will start the machine learning. Okay, Python, and then we'll learn about the BI tools like Looker, Power BI, Tableau. Any one of them will pick. Okay. Mostly we'll start with Power BI. Microsoft Power BI. I'll download the trial version and I'll show you how to create, how to ingest a data from your database, SQL, Postgres, or Excel sheet or G sheet, anything you can connect, right? You can connect and then you can create a proper visualization of your data and then you can publish it so that that link can be shared with others. Okay. Again, if you want to create a database, purely a dashboards, okay, we will also learn in Grafana. Okay, so I'll teach you that Grafana also how to create a dashboard. And why SQL is important is whatever the applications that you're going to learn future, right? Python, the advanced version, followed by Power BI, Looker, or what is the other one? Tableau. Okay, you have to write a SQL statement in the background to fetch a data. So SQL is very important nowadays. So under 1 2 minutes. Okay. And these are all the sections I have divided. Okay, and already have given some explanation also here about the syntax. Okay, how does the select statement that you're gonna write different ways. Star means what? All columns. If you want to pick columns, you can use this one. Okay, select list is nothing but columns. Okay, this is just a example I gave you. Okay. Okay, so right now if you see here C1, C2, C3, there are three tables. One, two, three. Okay, I have a table one. If I want to see a data from only from C2, okay, so uh, what I will write in a Postgres is select C2 from table 1. Okay, so it will display 23, 18, 40. If I want C1 and C3, I'll say select C1, comma C3 from table. Okay, so in my case, the example, the table name is table name itself. So you can use whatever the table name. Okay, so it's very easy actually, guys. Very easy. Okay, you will not understand all this text. I'll explain one by one. Okay, just waiting for the installation to finish. We're almost done. So, Kiran, have you installed this or you're going to install it later? Kiran, Sai, Hari,
Yeah, I will install tomorrow, sir.
tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't install on your office laptop. I mean, do it on a personal laptop. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And Hari, what about you?
Yeah, already installed, Suren.
Installed? Super. Okay.
Yeah,
And have you downloaded that file, Hari? The DVD rental.zip file? Just
not
now
it,
I
not
done
it,
that.
not it.
Yeah, you can download it.
Yeah,
Right now, I have shared on WhatsApp in
yeah,
our community chat.
yeah. I say of that. I'll download it.
Just download. I'll show you one sample how to import
Sure,
that file, and then you can practice from tomorrow.
sure.
think we're almost done here. Okay, finally it has installed. Okay, I'll just click on finish to end this installation. Okay, and then to begin, please select the installation you're installing software from the list below. Okay, so I'll pick this one. Welcome to Stack Builder. Okay. Okay, just click on. You must select at least one package. Okay.
Now you have to personally select each one individually. Yeah, there. And this download is taking good amount of time, Surendra.
Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll just cancel this right now. I'll not install. Later on, I can install. Tomorrow, I'll show you because I want to. I don't want you guys to sit for this installation. Okay. So, are you sure you want to close? Yes. Okay. So this is done. So I'll launch my Postgres. Uh, okay. Right now I need a reboot. Okay. If I reboot, this session will disconnect. So I don't want to do that. So what I'll do is I'll just type pgadmin. Okay. In a search window. And then I'm going to open this. If you're admin on that laptop, you can open normally. Okay. But in my case, I'll open as administrator only. Okay. You can, if you're admin on that laptop, no need to open as administrator. You can just launch it. Okay. This is the first window that you're going to see when it launches. Okay. So this is the first window that I will see. Okay. Uh, 1 minute, guys. I'll just close this because I was using this thing on my laptop before Postgres. So I'll just close all these things. These are all my workloads I was using earlier. So don't save, don't save. Okay. So this is the first window that you will see in your case. Okay, because I was already using Postgres before, so I uninstalled yesterday for demo purpose to show you guys how the installation can be done and how to add. So this is the first window that you're gonna see, and on the left hand side you'll see this menu, context menu, and in the object explorer you'll see servers. Okay, so right now it is installed locally on my device, so I'll just expand this. Okay, since I don't have 17 version, I'll just get rid of this, remove server. Okay, so the 18 version, 18.1 is the latest version that I have loaded. So I'll just expand this. Okay, so immediately what it will do is, since if you remember, if you recall, while installing we have added password, right, new password for your Postgres as a security purpose, right? So you have to punch in the password. So in my case it's 12345, and I'll say save password. Why? Because next time when I launch it again, when I open it, right, again it should not ask for password, so it just opens up and give you me the query window. Okay, so right now this is the window that I'm gonna see. So right now what is this is, this is the monitoring section of your Postgres. Okay, the you can see the load and all. You can see right now it is all normalized. Okay, less than 2.5 and all. Okay, if you, even if you hover on it, you see one activity. Right now it is idle. Green is idle. Total 9. Okay, so what is this? Server sessions. Right now only 0 sessions are running. Okay, if you see idle activity 1, because there we have just opened one session. Okay, to the same server, if this installation is done on a server in a networking environment or in an enterprise, and 100 people are connecting or any application is running, you will see here instead of activity 1, you will see the number of people who are connecting to this database. Okay, so in my case right now for active it is only one, because only one session is I'm using right now. Okay, and this is transaction per second, how many transactions are going in the background. Okay, so right now some 3 transactions are going on. Okay, and it is committing. Okay, and next one is tuple in. Okay, what is tuple? This is a type of data that it is writing, okay, into your database files. Right now 0, nothing is happening. Okay, from 50 seconds nothing is happening, it's just idle, sitting idle, and nothing much. And what are this? Tuple out. Okay, if you are reading out something, fetching out, return. Okay, so when we do this real-time data, and when we start accessing those queries and all, right, it will show you realistic numbers here, here, and all. Okay, so this is block IO. IO means input and output, how much data it is writing to hard disk and how much it is reading. Okay, so right now it is at the peak initially. Okay, 912. So right now it is all stabilized. You can see here. Okay, less than 250 byte that it is writing, or 1K data. Okay, this is 1K data. If more than 1K means this line will be like a straight here. Okay, that means it is lot of data that is it is reading and writing. And if you are seeing your SQL server is performing very slow, you can see this dashboard. Okay, so you have a default dashboard that it opens up to see the metrics of your database. Okay, you have state. Okay, so these are called PIDs. Okay, process IDs. Okay, how many process IDs are running in the background. Okay, and who is the owner? You can see here Postgres. Okay, and what are the relation, target relation? These are all the inbuilt connections. Okay, don't worry about it, this is just for your FYI. Okay, logs. Okay, I'll tell you when to look at logs, when to look at index. Okay, when to look at PG database and all. Okay, first just familiarize yourself with the dashboard and these submenus. Okay, and you can see here. Okay, so these are all some settings that it will show you. Path. Okay, trace sort. Okay, right now it is off. Okay, if you want, and you can see what does it do if it is off. This one. Okay, emit information about resource usage and sorting. Okay, so some of the config that are off, on, if you want to on, you can turn on. Okay, how? You have to go to the installation location. You will find something called config file. Okay, I'll just show it, but I'll not edit it. Okay, I'll just go to C, program files, Postgres 18, 18 is data. Okay, in data you have the config files. Okay, so config file, the one most of the time we edit is this pg underscore hba dot conf file. Okay, how do you open it? You can open it with a notepad. Okay, so I'll just pick up notepad. I just want to show the look and feel how the file looks like. Okay, these are the file. Okay, if you don't know, don't change anything. Okay, so wherever you see this hash comment, hash means these lines are all commented. Okay, so even if you add your hash or something, right, it will not make any difference. But wherever there is no hash, that is like this example, local host. Okay, so right now it is installed on this application IP loopback address 127.0.0.1 by 32. Okay, and this is how you will see your network address and other details here. Okay, if you want to change anything, okay, instead of this 127 and all, you can give dummy address also 192.168.1.1. Okay, whenever you want to connect it after launching, you can type that IP and then it will connect immediately. Okay, so these are all configuration related activities that we can perform. Okay, so that is how you look. I mean, you can take a look at your conf file. Okay, but I'll show you when to change. Okay, so you can see here, this is config file, the location that we just opened. Okay, hba.conf file, hba file, then Postgres SQL conf file is there. Okay, this is another file, data, and this one. You can just go here. Okay, so what is the file? It's called Postgres SQL conf. Yeah, this one. I'll just open. Okay, so there's the configuration file. You can see. Okay, wherever you don't see the hash. Okay, so those are all the config. Don't, if you don't know, don't mess up. Okay, see right now the default port it is using is 2345 from reverse. I'm just reading 5432. Okay, if you want to change it to some 8000, you can change it. So when you are accessing and when it asks for a port, you have to pass on 8000. Okay, so you can change these settings also. So for example, in a enterprise environment, big environment, what happens is if Postgres, there are using multiple instance of SQL on a server, like you have 100 servers, some 10 or 20 installation are running. If all are using 5432, it might conflict with connecting and all. So what you can do is you can customize. You can go to this site called uh, port. Uh, okay, free port numbers to use. So not interested. Okay, we'll find number registry. Okay, so you can see here these are the port numbers. From it starts from 1, and it will end with 65,000 something. Okay, count. So right now we have, I'll go to the last page. Last page. This is the last page. One minute, I clicked on something else. Okay, some of the port numbers are not there. Okay, maybe I think I opened the wrong. I think there is one site that gives you about the port numbers that we can use. Okay, Okay, so this is the site Wikipedia. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, these are all port numbers on the left extreme. Okay, so 21, 22 is used for FTP. Okay, 20 is for FTP data transfer and this control, and 22 is used for SSH. Okay, those who have a support background, right, they can understand the port details here. Okay, if we go to 443, you will see this is used for HTTPS 443 that we use in day to day. Whatever the link that we URL that we open HTTPS, it will use 443 by default, and port 80 is for HTTP. Okay, no S, no, not secure. Similarly, the count, if I go down, it will be somewhere at 64,000 or something. Okay, I'll just go down quickly. 1 minute. Okay, 49, yeah, 64,738. Okay, so you can see this port 6207, it is unofficial. Okay, so you can use based on your environment, because your environment is closed environment, right? Because you are behind the perimeter firewall and all, so you can use any of the ports. Okay, so when it should not be like confuse which one to use. You just go to this chart and see unofficial wherever it is not reserved. Like yes, you cannot use it, because if you install on the same laptop, if I use something called 31457, and tomorrow if I use this Tetrinet application, okay, if I use install this, it will get conflict. It will not launch because this port is already in use by SQL Postgres, so it will not. So just make sure you take a decision by going to the ports. Okay, this is just a reference kind of information for you guys. Okay, so this is the config file, how it looks like. You can take time and just go through it. Okay, so buffer 128 MB is what it uses, and 8 MB is temp buffer. You have a lot of config. Okay, so even if you ask me whether I know all these things, no, I generally, whenever based on the issues, I'll go google it, and whatever the values that I have to change, for example, this one commit synchronize commit is equal to on. Okay, so whenever there is a synchronization happen between two database, I have a database 1 and database 2 in different server, so I have a link between this database and that database. Okay, if I set this on, okay, so whatever the changes I'm doing on database 1, okay, on this on the other hand, on database 2 also, same commit changes will be done if I remove this hash. Okay, so there are different configuration. Okay, so I mean, my take on this is, whenever you encounter with any issue, you have a very good documentation support for Postgres application. Or you can go to their site and then you can query, okay, if something is not running, and they will definitely route you to this conf file to make changes. Then you can make those changes, stop the service of Postgres, restart it, and then you see if that is working. Okay, coming back to our menu here, this is logs. Okay, so logs here also you can read, and you can go to the location, the C drive, Postgres folder. Under that also you can read the logs. Okay, so you have text, JSON and CSV. Okay, so you have three formats. Okay, and if you need a tabular format, this is how it looks like. Okay, so you can just play around all these things. Now what is system? Okay, so system extension right now I have not installed. Okay, well, when we come to this chapter called extension, how to install extension, so I'll install. There are quite a lot extensions that are available for Postgres. You can, most of them are free, open source, you can install. Okay, and then you can make use of it, and you can install even what is that, Excel format extension is there. Okay, you have a database files and you want to download or you want to connect, okay, from G Suite or Google Sheets or some other sheets, right? You can make a connection with Postgres and you can read and write files there also, and you can retrieve the files and save it in Postgres. Okay, so this is about the dashboard. Okay, now what are these folders? Okay, so table spaces, I'll teach this at the end. Okay, this is not so important. This is login group roles. Okay, so when you have a person joining your company, right, and you want to give him a read access to all the data. Okay, so you can give him PG read all data. Okay, so you can go to properties. Okay, you can set a password, whatever password you want to set. Okay, and then membership here you can add that user. Okay, so select an item, you can add here, or you can make members. Okay, you can add members of this, same like in Windows permission you give, right? Same permission you can make use of it. Okay, so here also you don't have anything here, so whatever the items that we see here, this is what it is populating. Okay, all these things, if you want to create, you can create. Okay, say for example, I'll create, I'll say uh, user for, okay, I'll just say user 01. Okay, 01, user 01. Okay, and so what he can do under privileges, you have to say he can log in. Okay, super user, no. Okay, create roles, no. Create database, no. Can initiate streaming, replication, or backups. If you want to give him a role of backup, yes. Backup means your database backup on a incremental weekly once or weekly twice. You can mention. Okay. Membership we have already added, so we can add the member here. So since you are giving your database backup, right? So you'll have something called uh, Postgres reserved read only. Yeah, maintain. Okay, PG maintain. So backup, taking a backup of your database and all. So that role that we are assigning user 01 or employee ID, if you have, you can add it. Okay, if it is in an enterprise environment, and then you can go to parameter security. Okay, SQL. This is a command you can do it through command line or through query. So right now we are not doing that. We are using a mouse to uh, pick up all those things, and you can see time bound also. Say for example, you want to give it to only for 6 months. So from Jan, today 20th. Okay, or you can, I'll go to Feb, I'll say 28th. Okay. uh, PM, it's in 5. Okay, so see, the account expires on 28th Feb 2026 around 5:30. Okay, so the 17th, 5 o'clock, it will uh, expire this connection, and that user cannot log in to anything. I'll just give dummy password 12345. Okay, and I'll save it. Now you see I have user 1 created here. Similarly, when you create, instead of giving this default access to users, you create a user. Okay, and then you assign a role to him. Okay, which we call that we called it as RBAC. Okay, RBAC stands for role based access control. Okay, so this is about the login and roles. Okay, you have different roles. I'll guide you when to use what. Okay, and how to give a permission. Now let's head to database. Okay, so database is your folder where you will create your tables. Okay, so right now if you see, I don't have anything here, so I'll create a new database. Okay, a folder, I'll say DVD rental. Okay, so who is the owner? Postgres. Okay, so if you see here, Postgres has a full access. He's a, when we install this SQL, right? So this is installed through this ID. So ultimately, this user or this user has all the privilege. Whatever the privilege that you see, he has this. So he's a super user. But you do not share the credential of Postgres with everybody in your organization because he can copy, he can view some crucial information and all, right? So that is the reason we don't give. We create a role, okay, based on location. If you have a office in Mumbai, you'll say user one Mumbai, okay, user one Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, like that you'll create, and you'll give a limited access to your users to touch the or view the data from a database. Okay, so this is a DVD rental. Okay, now if I go to definition, so don't worry about all these things. Okay, okay, so right now I'm just creating a database name, dummy folder. Okay, so just type the name of your database that you're gonna write and who is the owner. Okay, so you can select the admin Postgres who wants to be retained as a admin for this role. Okay, I'll just click on save. Okay, now you see I have created a file and it shows two database, means I have two. One Postgres, I mean, who created this? The installation that we did, right? So it came along with the installation. So don't worry about it. It's just a dummy one. Okay, you cannot do anything here. Okay, it's a dummy. Nothing is created. Okay, now if I expand my DVD rental, so these are the 9 folder that you will see: cast, catalog, event triggers, extensions, data wrappers, language, publications, schemas, and subscription. Okay, most of the time we will be interested in schemas. This is the area where we'll spend time. Okay, public. Okay, so this is the location. So right now, if you see under table, I don't have anything here. Okay, if I click, nothing is there because it's a newly created database. I don't have any data. Okay, one way is you can create a table manually and you can add records manually. Okay, like a data operator. But in our case, we have downloaded a file called what is that, DVD rental. Okay, it's in my download folder here. Okay, so this is a file that I'm gonna import into. Okay, so this is the file I'm gonna import now. Okay, so and even if you want to open and see what is there in this data file, okay, I'll say extract all. Okay, so all database files are stored with an extension called dat. Okay, you can see. Okay, and this is the restore.sql file. .sql stands for the extension for a SQL file. .sql. Okay, you can take the same file and you can import in Microsoft SQL. Okay, and you can import in Oracle if that supports SQL. If not, you have to convert into the other format and then you have to import into those environment. Okay, so in my case, I am I'll just delete this. I don't need this. Okay, so I'll just keep this as DVD under download, DVD rental, and this one. Now I want to import this file. Okay, how do we do that? You have to click on DVD rental. Okay, just right click on it. Okay, you will get a menu, something like this. You have something called restore. Okay, backup. Don't get confused between backup and restore. Backup is something you have existing data, you are taking a backup. Okay, on a weekly basis and storing it on some AWS S3 storage or some other location to securely backing up on a weekly basis. Okay, in my case, I want to restore. Okay, so I'll click on this is the format that you have to select custom or tar. Okay, and here in this section file name, you have to browse to your location where you have downloaded that file. So in my case, okay, I'll just click on all files. I'll select this one, DVD rental. Okay, so this is a, you can see this is a tar file. TAR extension. Like you have a file extension for zip and other thing, right? So Postgres uses TAR. Okay, that is one type of what do you call file format for zipping. Okay, so that you can, if you have a large file, you can zip it and you can create a tar file so that you can minimize the size of the file. Okay, so it has its own algorithm that it takes care internally when you are zipping or unzipping. Okay, so number of jobs and all this you have to roles. Okay, role name you don't select anything. Okay, just leave this as it is, and then go to data. Okay, so this option you don't have to touch anything for restore. Just in general, you have to select your tar file and then you say restore. Okay, on the right hand side, you can see the process completed. Process complete, started, completed. Okay, and this is the localhost that it will use, localhost colon 5432. Okay, now if I go to my activity, okay, now you see total one, activity one. Okay, now you see there are some hiccups. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, so something happened with your database now. Okay, some data was involved and there was a spike here. So 23, uh, if you highlight now on this point, 23K hits were there. Okay, and you can see what are the changes that we did. Okay, this is the PID. So we installed something called DVD rental DB client one, blah blah blah. It will give, it is right now active. Okay, if I go to logs, configuration is nothing we cannot change. You can see the settings whether it is on or off. If you want to, it's just like if you guys are familiar with the registry in Windows, it is something like this. Okay, the configuration of the Postgres. So if you want to go toggle your settings, okay, but you need to have a good understanding about this. Okay, time zone, right now what is the time zone? It is set Calcutta, but if your server is running in US time zone, right, in US location, Tampa, Sacramento, or in US, right, you have to set to that time zone. Okay, and whatever the logs or that we see, right, so the timestamp that you see, timestamp it the date timestamp that you are setting, it will be according to that, it will not according to your IST. Okay, so these are some of the changes that you can do. Okay, you can see what we did is does not exist, blah blah blah, and it gives you the logs, fatal logs and all that. Okay, you can check logs, fatal logs. Okay, checkpoint complete, road buffer, blah blah blah. Check the logs. Okay, now what we can do is I'll just refresh it. How do you refresh? You right click on any of this uh, folder and click on F5. Okay, now I'll go to, yeah, this one, schema. So how do you access your query window? Okay, you click on, or you can go here also, guys. You have an option here. Okay, sorry, here. This is filter query to. Okay, so you can click on this also to get a query window. Okay, now here what I have to make sure, I have to select the database that I am going to work. Okay, it's like your folder. Okay, if you have data in your folder, you have to select that folder, get into that, and then start querying. Okay, so first command will just go through the schema public and head to tables. Okay, so here these tables that you see, actor, address, these are all we just created. Okay, I mean after we imported or restored that file, the DVD rental sample for learning, so these are all added. Okay, if you want to see a simple data, so you can write a simple select. This is the first statement that you will write, then you'll say star, select star from. Okay, from which table? Left hand side you can see table names. Okay, so I'll pick something called film. Okay, and then how do you run? You can type F5 on your keyboard, or you can run this also. Okay, so if you select this and click on this, it will execute. Okay, now you see, so this is a table. Okay, so what are the columns I have? Column ID, title, description. These are all column names. Hope you guys can see this. Okay, or is it small? I don't know. So these are the data that you can see. And how many rows are there? 100. Okay, so this is our first practice session. Whatever the tables that you see, just run all this command. Select star from, what is the next table? Actor. Okay, you just highlight this and press F5. Okay, this is the actor table, you can see. Okay, so what are the columns names? I have actor ID, name, last name, and last updated. Okay, what is the next one? We have address. Okay, so you can practice this also. Select star from address. I'll select this and I'll hit F5. Okay, so this address. Okay, now you see something called first column, address ID. Okay, you see something called PK. PK stands for primary key. Okay, so every table in RDBMS, to identify uniqueness for each and every rows, you need one column with unique ID. Okay, so this is called primary. We have foreign key. Okay, we have other concepts also. As we move along, I'll explain those concepts also. Okay, for now, you guys, after importing this, I want you to just practice, just type the simple command, select star from address, like you have category, city, country, customer, actor, all this, and then only you'll get a good practice. Okay, so if you want to save this query file, how do you do that? You can go to file, or you have an option here called save. Okay, just click on it, save. It will open up a window where you want to save. I'll just pick a proper location where I want to save. Okay, I think I should have saved some folder. Okay, I'll save it somewhere here. SQL, see if I have any query. Yeah, see DVD rental practice .sql 2025. Okay, I'll say I'll name this as SQL practice 01. Okay, I'll save it. Okay, it is just like a notepad, guys. If you want to retrieve that file, you can open it up, just select and run it. Okay, you don't have to write again. It's just like a notepad that you save your notes and all, right? Similarly, you can save it, your SQL commands also. And what the extension it stores is, we'll just go here. Okay, you can see it stores with SQL. Okay, so this is the file extension. If someone asks what is the extension, okay, now what I'll do is I'll open some existing file. Okay, how do I do that? You click on this icon here, and then I'll say all files. Here I have DVD practice rental. Okay, so these are some of the examples that I was running before. Okay, so this is how you create a database name with Postgres and all this, and these are some of the commands. So here I have written some condition. Okay, group by, having count customer greater than 5 and all. You're gonna learn all these things. I'll just run this to show you guys. So from customers. So do we have customers here? Nope, I don't have customer. Okay, so this is from a different table. So I was using some other table. So we don't have something called customer ID also here. We don't have customer table itself. So maybe I picked up from some other table. Okay, so that's fine. So if I want to open my practice one, the one I was doing, I'll just click on this and then I can open it up and then I can run my queries. Okay, so this is called a query editor pane and this is a result pane. Okay, and if you want a graph analyzer, you can do your graphical here itself, line chart. Okay, in X you have to pick up the details here, okay, phone number, city ID or something, and then you can do a graph and then you can copy that and you can put it in your PPT and then you can visualize. That also you can do. I'll show you all these things one by one. Okay, and if you want to save this data that you see here, right, if you want to save it, you click on this icon and then you can save this as CSV file. Okay, so for example, I'll just click on download Postgres. What is this table called? Address, right? So I'll say address and then I'll save this file. Okay, so let me go to the download and see what is the extension it is creating here. Okay, you can see it's a file, Postgres address file. Okay, if I click on this, go to properties. Okay, you can see right now there is no extension. Okay, if I open, what happens? I'll just open it with notepad. Okay, so this is a CSV actually extension. You can see this is how you're gonna get your data. Okay, what if I want to save this as a CSV? Okay, I can do that also, or Excel also. So I'll click on this again just to show you guys. Here I'll say data dot CSV. Okay, and I'll save it in downloads. Okay, so it is done. Downloads. So I have this file called data.csv file. You can see here. Okay, so if I double click on it, it will give me the file. So I have Excel loaded on my laptop. Okay, so this is how your data looks like. Okay, from your database, if you want to download in a CSV format or TXT format, whatever format you want to download. Okay, guys, clear? I think we are top of the hour, guys. We took almost like extra half an hour. That's okay. But from tomorrow we'll keep a track on timing also. So we'll finish it off by 1 hour so that you can continue your work and learning later on. Okay. So you can stop the sharing. So stop the recording, Saib.